The Selfish Path to Romance. Download Chapter 1 for free at drkenner.com and at amazon.com.
And I want to welcome Silka to the phones. Did I pronounce your name right?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, thank you. And your question has to do with your husband. Is he good for you?
Yes.
Yeah, what's good? Go ahead.
Yeah, I've been listening to your program, Psychological Self-Defense, which I found very helpful. And you talk about a feeling that we sometimes have with people, that they are part friend, part foe. And I sometimes have this with my husband. He has good qualities, of course, and I've always tried to see the good in him, but I think I've neglected the fact that I've never really been happy in this marriage. And yeah, a few examples. I had a rather difficult childhood, and then after studying, I was lucky to find a job in another region of Germany, and I felt very happy and free there. And then I met my husband, and by coincidence, he works in the area where I grew up. And I told him I don't want to move back into that house. And in spite of that, he kept trying to persuade me to move back in there because it was cheap and convenient for him. And another point is he tries to make me do all the housework.
Yeah.
So I always have to ask for everything. Could you please help me tidy up? And he doesn't want to do anything, so often I feel like a servant.
Yeah.
And a third point, I think we can't really communicate very well, at least about important issues. Once I told him that I feel rather exhausted in the evening, and then he would just say things like, well, pull yourself together, or, but the kids are so sweet, and yeah.
So you don't have a partnership. It sounds like it's a 1950s relationship, the stereotypical relationship where the husband, or as my father once told me, the male's ego is everything. And the woman is there to do what? To serve it. Now, hopefully I don't think he believes that anymore, but that was the mindset back then. And that is not the mindset of a good relationship, and many of those women I see in therapy now, in couples therapy or individual therapy, say, I've spent my whole life living in the shadows of you or living for someone else, and I'm fed up. I've had it. So it's very good that you are asking the question in the way that you are. Is my husband good for me? Not am I a good enough wife? But it is your life through and through, and that is so hard for many of us to grasp. And so you're doing very good introspective work. When I played that Frasier, that I talked about looking at your emotions and turning them into thoughts. And you're saying that there are things where you got that faux feeling, not a friend feeling, but a faux feeling. And when you get that faux feeling, it is so important to tune into that and to turn it into thoughts. So he was not respectful of you when you said it's very important that you not move into a particular house where you grew up, even though it's less expensive. Now, assuming that you weren't that the option wasn't being homeless, if you had other options, he needed to consider that. You needed to feel, and here is the key word in a romantic relationship, you needed to feel visible, emotionally connected, emotionally intimate, and you didn't feel that. Well, if that were the only thing he did, if it were not a pattern, just a one-shot deal, or every so often he did that to you, you did that to him, nobody's going to be perfect in that way. You need to learn how to correct those types of errors going forward. But if it's a pattern, which is what I'm hearing, Silka, that you do all the work, and when you ask for help, it's not that you're a housewife it's not that you're doing all the housework and putting a Band-Aid on your lips and refusing to ever ask for help. If you ask for help, he puts you down, and that's not good. He's not listening to you. You're not being heard. You're not visible. And if he's telling you to pull yourself together if you're really tired, well, I don't think any of us would like to be told, hey, pull yourself together, if what we need at that moment from a loving companion is, oh man, it must be tough to feel very tired when the kids are crying and wanting your attention right now. And then it would be up to you. You could pull yourself together. So what are your thoughts? What are your options?
Yeah, I don't think that he's the loving companion that I need. I need somebody who's more supportive.
Okay, so the first thing I would say the gift you want to give yourself is to see what constitutes a very good romantic relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And because that gives you a standard against which to evaluate your own relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And that you could do with the book that Dr. Ed Locke and I wrote, The Selfish Path to Romance.
I've got it. I've already read it.
Okay, so if you've read that, then you have gone through part 3, which is finding your soulmate. Do you connect on sense of life and values and interests and tastes and even your habits, daily habits? Do you stay up late and he doesn't? Or your views towards fitness? You see what the important things are, the essence of a good relationship. And you also see deal breakers, anger issues or refusing to communicate or dishonesty or faking niceness. If people are always faking niceness, guess what's underneath that faking feeling? Bitterness. Right? They're faking niceness. They're not genuinely feeling happy. So you want to be able to, when you have a standard, if he was willing to read the book and change, that doesn't mean you still want him as a partner. Sometimes there's too much damage that's been done and you just want to start fresh. But once you have a standard, then you can go to the appendix of our book, and we have a way. We have a chapter. It's not a chapter. It's in the appendix. How to part ways and start over if you cease being soulmates. And it's a 9-step plan. First, you identify the reasons you're considering a divorce. The second, you identify what's keeping me in in an unsatisfactory relationship. You identify the barriers. And then third, you make a decision. You tie all the information together. And then you break the news to your partner. And then you try to create an atmosphere of respect, and you help another one is you help your children through it. You develop an action plan. So I'm not giving you all of them because we don't have the time. You have kids too, right? How old?
3 and 6.
They're young. Okay, so you would need to look on my website, a book by Florence Bienenfeld, if you do consider divorce, helping your children through the divorce. But first you can consider talking with him, because who knows, if he changes dramatically, then you've got a marriage made on earth, wonderful marriage. So thank you so much for your call.
Thanks for your help.
Oh, you're welcome.
For more Dr. Kenner podcast, go to drkenner.com and please listen to this ad.
Here's an excerpt from The Selfish Path to Romance, the Serious Romance Guidebook by clinical psychologist Dr. Ellen Kenner and co-author Dr. Edwin Locke.
There are aspects of your appearance you cannot change, such as your height, being covered in freckles, or some changes due to aging. You simply need to accept things that you cannot change and work to change things that are within your control. Certain aspects of one's appearance are changeable with the help of technology. Plastic surgery, cosmetic procedures, and even drugstore products like at-home hair dye kits and teeth whiteners are available if you want to and can afford to use them. It's perfectly healthy to use technology to reasonably enhance your appearance.
You can download Chapter 1 for free by going to drkenner.com, and you can buy The Selfish Path to Romance at amazon.com.